20. On why boredom should hurt. Addiction sucks, and whether or not we realize it, we all struggle with it on a daily basis. That's not to say that we have drug-fueled lives. Addiction comes in all shapes and sizes, but working out what your specific drug is a strong start down the path of recovery. If you want to kick it, of course. Apart from the normal drink, drug and sex addictions, your poison might be sports, or likes, validation. My particular addiction is information. Now that sounds relatively tame. How could the need for information be such a bad thing? Well, the way I see it, there are a few ways in which this drug affects me in adverse ways. Firstly, it will eat up all the time you have. There is an unbelievable amount of information out there. There is no way that anyone can work through all of it, so you have to choose what information you actually need. Process number 1. Then you have to compare what is left to other sources to try work out what might be real. Process number 2. Then mental summaries and cataloging and storing. Number 3, number 4, number 5. But wait, there's new information. How does this fit in with what we already know? All day, every day. And all these processes steal cycles from other tasks and fills all available space. In fact, being an addict, you're willing to sacrifice things to feed your addiction. Even if you are busy with one task, the need for information will pull you out of that productive state and make you switch to hunting mode, regardless the cost. It is a monster. The opposite of feeding the monster would be to starve it, by resisting the constant need for information and finding the spaces in between useful activities to do nothing. To allow space for idleness. Not boredom, mind you. Boredom implies a dissatisfaction with being idle, and here my aim is to be idle. That means that I need to find time to go for a walk where there is no input of information, no story, no podcast, no news bulletins. Just space for idleness and stillness where my head can deal with a deluge of inputs and do some trimming and filing. It means that when I'm stood in line for coffee or sitting on a train, I don't pull out my phone on autopilot for a fix, but I take the time to be idle and see what happens. And hopefully, given the space and the stillness, some creative seeds can sprout.